All right, folks, listen. In this video, I'm going to show you who is Rosemary's Baby, okay? And when I say that, I'm talking about in that movie, Rosemary's Baby, where basically the woman was, having Satan's child inside of her. You ever seen that movie? And there's other things that you need to know about that movie. I'll tell you in a minute, okay? But first, we're going to talk about the Church of Satan and what that's about. But I'm going to show you this card first, which I've shown already, many times on this channel. I've already talked about this stuff, but I'm putting it together for you, okay? Now, watch this. So let me show you this image first, okay? That way you know what I'm talking about. All right, so the first thing you're going to see is this Church of Elvis, and we'll get to what it means in a minute. So this is one of the Illuminati card games, right? So Church of Elvis, basically you're seeing Church of Satan, okay? Now, and like I said, the movie Rosemary's Baby is, I'm going to show you how that connects to this too. But first, let's show the Church of Satan connections, okay? Just give me a second here to bring it up. Give me 1 second. All right, look at this. Hold on 1 second. Before I show you the most incredible part, let's show some of the numerical connections first before I show you what's beyond unbelievable. All right, so the Church of Satan, its opening date was April 30th, 1966, okay? And from April 30th, 1966 to 6/11 this year, the Washington State event, okay? It's 60 years, 1 month, 13 days. And what does this number mean? Because I told you that the O is like a portal or a head, a face, a crown, a womb, a matrix, a ring. And the 3 is like a W, which looks like a crown if you turn it sideways. So the 3 always means a crown. So here you go. So this is what you're seeing, actually. You're seeing the crown on the portal or the head, the face, the ring, the womb, the matrix, the egg. You understand? Okay? So you're seeing those numbers in that. 611 with the 0 and the 3. Okay? From the opening of the Church of Satan. Okay? Now, and I told you that Trump's going to get his head wound on August 4th, right? And the Washington State event where millions could die. Because, like I said, I don't know how big this event is going to be. Okay? You got to get out of Washington State before June 11th. Okay? Now, and the other prediction is that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. Trump gets the head wound. It just so happens that August 4th is Obama's birthday. That's why he was the president before Trump, because he had to connect to Trump, because it's his birthday that they're going to, that Trump is going to get his head wound, okay? So from Obama's birthday to the day that Church of Satan opened, it's 4 years, 8 months. And I told you Trump's going to get his head wound on 8/4. It's from 8/4, you see it? Okay? And you have all these sixes in there. And it's either 27 days if you don't add the day, 28 days if you add the day. 27, 28 equals 55, which is Satan. Okay? Now, that's from 8/4, Obama's birthday, to to the day Church of Satan opened. Now, from the Church of Satan opening to the day Trump gets his head wound is 22,011 days if you don't add the day, 12 days if you add the day. So it's 2211. You see that? Because you can count it both ways, up to that day or with the day. So see what I mean? What is 2211? That's JFK's death date, right? 11/22. But also because Elvis had an identical twin, and twin equals 66, his identical twin died, Elvis. And that's why Trump is the replacement twin for Elvis's identical twin that was sacrificed. So 1 through 66, if you add up all the numbers, is 2211. See it? 2211 with the portal, with the crown. Okay? And because Trump is the replacement twin. And 1 through 66 is 2211. Okay? And JFK was, died on 11/22, and RFK died on 6/6. You see that? You see what I'm showing you there? Twin equals 66. 1 through 66 is 2211. And RFK was the brother of JFK, who was killed also. 11/22/66. You see it? 66 and 2211, which also connects to what we were talking about here with the Church of Satan opening date to the day Trump gets his head wound. Okay? You think these are coincidences? You're nuts. Okay? And from Elvis's birthday to the day 9/11 fell was 9 to the day the towers collapsed, because Elvis had an identical twin, 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. Do you not understand? I just connected it to the 8/4. Trump's going to get his head on 8/4. 66 years is the word twin. And I showed you what it all means with that last, when I was showing you the Church of Satan connection was 2211. Okay? It's all for Elvis, everything. Okay? And what is the 2211? See how it's connected to the word twin, right? 1 through 66 is 2211. Look at what 2211 is. So the clock time, okay, 2211 on the clock, the hands are on the 10 and 11. 22 hours, 11 minutes, the hands are on the 10 and 11. And 10 hours, 11 minutes into the day is 611 total minutes. So military time, the next time 10/11 comes around would be 2211. So 2211 connects to the 611 because 10 hours, 11 minutes is the hands are on the same as the 2211. Do you understand? Okay. Okay. Do you get that? And 22 hours, 11 minutes is 1,331 total minutes. 22 hours, 11 minutes is 1,331 total minutes. And the prime numbers of 6 and 11 is 1,331. Can you believe that? You see how it all connects to 611? Okay? And if that's still not enough for you, I forgot to do this one. Let me do it right now. I just want to make sure you guys are all with me here. So do you guys understand all that so far? Hold on. The video, like I said, it's going to get good. Just keep watching. I forgot to fill this part out. So remember, I told you that everything connects to the twin, right? The how I connected the 1 through 66 to 2211, and also the Elvis, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years. You remember? So everything connects to the twin. Now look. So what does twin equal? 6621. Twin equals 6621. Okay? It equals 66, and then the reduced numbers is 21. Look. See that? You add up all the numbers between 1 through 11 is 66. 1 through 6 is 21. You see? Now, there is no way you're going to tell me that it's not connected to the twin. All right, when you see something like this. And remember, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years. And it was in the year 2001. If you take out the zeros of 2001, you get 2 and 1. So it even has the connection, because the next 6/11 is 9/11. You see how the 6 is like a 9? Okay. Okay, do you understand that you can't have, and what's in between 66 and 21? What's in between 66 and 21? No. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There it is. So what is, there it is, 45. See? See what I'm talking about? So 21 plus 45 is 66. So the 6 needs the 9, which needs the 11 to complete this, because 21 plus 45 is 66. So that's what it's needed, was the 9/11 in between to end. You understand? It's impossible for this to be a coincidence. Okay? Absolutely impossible. And this is my birthday, 9/4, but it landed on the 9/5 day because it was a leap year. Okay? So there's just no way possible all of this is a coincidence, okay? And like I said, these are things I've already shown. There's nothing new. But what I'm trying to show you is that everything connects to Elvis. And of course, Elvis needs Trump to fulfill this monstrous charade, because Elvis is the real Antichrist. Trump is the Antichrist in the flesh, okay? That's why he's the one who gets the head wound. Because he's playing the part of Jesus in the flesh. When Jesus was walking the earth as God in the flesh, the Father was still in heaven. You understand? You had God in the flesh and God in heaven. And that's what Elvis is playing. Elvis is playing God in heaven. Trump is playing God in the flesh. Okay? And that's why he has to be crucified and rise from the dead, like Jesus. Okay? That's why he has to get his head wound and come back from the dead, which he's going to get on August 4th. But it's the biblical beast out of the sea event on June 11th. And one of the heads of the beast seems to have had a deadly head wound that healed, and the world wondered after the beast, what better beast to get the head wound than the beast who compares himself to Elvis? Trump always compares himself to Elvis. So June 11th and then August 4th, okay? Now, and I told you everything connects to George Washington, because we're talking about Washington State. And, Washington, D.C. is like a twin of Washington. You get what I'm saying? Because you have a Washington, D.C. and a Washington State. It's interesting that the day George Washington became a Master Mason was on August 4th, which I showed, again, years ago. And August 4th, he became a Master Mason to the day the Church of Satan opened. Look at that. It's 77700 days. Look at that. It's like a jackpot, Interesting number there. Okay. Now, here's where it gets ridiculous. All right. Wait till you see this. You know that what is that? Levi. I wonder if I even put it in here. Yeah, I don't even know. Oh yeah, here it is. So the football game is at the Levi Stadium, right? There is this guy. He's not the founder. He's just some occultist. Before I show you the Church of Satan connection, there's this occultist, because the football game is at Levi Stadium, which is Elvis this year at the Super Bowl. And this is what I was going to show you guys, but somebody beat me to it on the on the thing. But anyway, so because everything looks like Elvis, right? Because I've talked about this guy before, and from his birthday to the day of the Super Bowl in Levi's Stadium, because it's Elvis. This is almost the same. Look, it's got the S right there. Anyway, this dude was an occultist. He's going to be 216 years old exactly on that day. Okay. And he's just some weird, like I said, the Satanists look up to this dude. He's like Aleister Crowley, basically. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, so we're talking about and the Levi's Stadium is in California. It's near San Francisco, right? It's in Santa Clara, like Satan. Anyway, I've talked about all this in the Super Bowl video, but here we go. The founder of the Church of Satan, because that's what the numbers I was connecting to earlier, okay? The founder of the Church of Satan was Anton LaVey, which is weird. It sounds like a Levi too, in a way, but it's Anton LaVey, and it has almost the letters of Satan, No, it's not even close. What am I saying? Anyway, but he's the founder, and it's in San Francisco. The Church of Satan was founded, okay? But look at, well, let me just show you these cards first. Folks, you got to understand, it's very hard to figure out what to show first and what to not, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to show it in order. That way you don't give away stuff. Look at this. The Church of Satan was called the Black House. And do you know why it was called the Black House? Because this dude, this Anton LaVey, I think it was out of his house where he lived. Okay, and I'm going to show you how incredible this is in a moment. Anton LaVey died at the age of 67, and Elvis equals 67. And 67, when written out, equals 162. It's the first number that equals 162 when written out. And June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. So that's why it's a big deal, this, that he died at 67. Okay? But here's where it gets ridiculous. Let me show you. And for the people who know my videos, this is what I've talked about this many times. Look at the address of the Church of Satan. The founding. It doesn't even exist anymore. Okay? Remind me to check the date that it was demolished. Look at this address, folks. Look at this. 6114. Are you kidding me? The Church of Satan, the address is 6114. So what is that? What is that? Let me show you. So the address is 6114. That is 6/11, Washington State attack date, and Trump's birthday, which is 6/14. You understand? It's 6/11 and 6/14 in those numbers. Look at that. For the Church of Satan, man. I mean, can you believe this? And this amount of days, 6114 days, is 16 years, 8 months, and either one of these 3 days. It can be 25, depending on what month you start from. You know what I mean? Look at that. Elvis died on 8/16. It's got the 16/8 connection, you know? And it just so happens from August 4th, if you go forward 6,114 days, it lands on the Church of Satan anniversary of its 12th year of it, 12 years old it would have been, the Church of Satan. You see that? It would have been 12 years old that time. Okay? Now let's get to the more important thing. Let me show you what's going on here. All right, let's get back to this. Give me a second here. So now, look at this. So now we're back to this. This is the Elvis Illuminati cards, okay? So it's the Church of Elvis, it says. Okay? And by the way, it's the lighting, it's so bright that's why it's showing the colors like this. It's not supposed to be that way. But anyway, Church of Elvis is like basically the Church of Satan. That's what you're seeing, okay? And you know the guitar? See the guitar right here? It looks like a 1 and an 8. Elvis was born on 1/8. You see that? You see the 1 and the 8? 1/8. 1/8. Okay, so that's the guitar connection, right? To Elvis's birthday. Then you have Elvis's head right here. Let me show you. I'm going to try to do a close-up of it. You see it's upside down. Okay? Because Elvis's head, okay? Let me just tell you this first. The word Washington equals exactly the word upside down. I was the first one to show that like 7, 8 years ago. Washington equals upside down, all right? Okay? Let me just explain to you real quick the Elvis head thing. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to turn it upside down, man. Let me explain to you what Elvis's head is. So this is Washington State right here. And this is Seattle. And they were calling this area during the pandemic the chop zone. And Seattle's in King County. Elvis was known as a king. Washington is the 42nd state, and Elvis died at the age of 42. Anyway, so they were calling this place, this is Seattle right there. I don't know why it's so blurry. I can't focus. Anyway, this is Seattle, and they were calling it the chop zone. So if something were to happen right here and they were to chop this off, they would be chopping Elvis's head off. You see his hair way up here? I mean, just look at this image that I'm showing. Look, just remember that hair image. Look at this. Look at that. It's an upside down head. And I told you Washington equals upside down. Do you see it? Is anyone paying attention? Are you guys seeing it? Do you see the head that's upside down? Before I move on, Okay? Anyway, so you had the 1/8 for Elvis's birthday with the guitar. You had Elvis's head upside down. Washington equals upside down. Now, watch this. Hold on. I'm going to have to get a better image. This is driving me nuts. Hold on one second, folks. Let me see if I have a better image of this thing before I lose it. Hey, look how perfect this one is. Wait. See, look how beautiful this one is. But anyway, so what is this symbol right here? I had it all nice and written out, like, you know, on the so what does that symbol look like? Right there. Watch. Nuclear symbol. You see? You see the three, like the three, you know, the three black spots or the three white spots, whatever you want to see, three yellow spots, whatever, it doesn't matter. What you're seeing, that's the nuclear symbol, and that is what is on the back. And I'm not saying it's perfect, folks. They're not going to like literally show it to you, you know? You understand? It's like the nuclear symbol on the back. And look, you even have a green, like an emerald green color here. But it's that nuclear symbol. And then you have like a tidal wave. This is like a tsunami wave. Look at it. You think that's a coincidence that they're doing that? It's like a tsunami wave coming and crashing down on the creature's head. Okay? And what is this creature doing? This creature is bowing down, worshiping Elvis. It's the Church of Satan. It's the Church of Elvis. And what do you see here? You see a portal. Okay? And what do you see right here? A yellow brick road. Yes, that's what I'm here. See, I'm trying to show you guys. I had it all, you know, written down. Look. Yellow brick road. See the yellow brick road. Hold on. Tsunami wave. Portal. This is a portal, the round thing. Look. Elvis with a crown. I told you the O is a portal. So O Elvis equals exactly the same as the word portal. Elvis with the letter O, which is, you understand, this is O. And remember the 1 and the 8. This is all Elvis you're seeing. The head, the 1/8, and it's O Elvis portal. Okay? Do you understand? Okay? Elvis with the letter O, which is like a crown or a portal. Portal equals exactly the same. Okay? And then you have the yellow brick road. This yellow, the creature's on the yellow. And then you have Church of Satan, Church of Elvis. Do you get it? And then the hands, notice that the guitar, the bottom part is on the 6. If this was a clock, that the bottom part would be on a 6 and the other part would be on the 11. 6, 11. You see that? Are you understanding what I'm showing there? 6 and 11. Okay, now, this is the other card, okay? You'll see how important this is in a moment, okay? So on this card, you see a guy pointing and saying, you know, that he was here. He just saw him, right? And notice you have a trash can that's swallowing up trash. It's supposed to say trash, but it kind of looks like it says Washington. But if you look, you get a really good image, it really says trash, but it kind of looks like ASH for Washington, you know. And why am I showing you this? Because see the glasses? Glasses equals exactly the word Seattle, okay? Glasses equals exactly the same as Seattle, okay? And you see I'm showing that Elvis, you see that it's swallowing up. See, I'm showing that Elvis's mouth, it's Elvis's glasses, and this is his mouth, and he's swallowing it up. And you know, notice that it looks like a twin. That's a Twinkie, get it? Like a twin, and it looks like the heads have been cut off of people. Like the paper looks like people. Like it's on, you see what I'm saying? It looks like it's dead people. Do you see it or no? Like it's in the shape of people. Like paper people, PP, the paper people. Yeah, and in the back it says push, push, the PP, which I explained to you what the PP is. The PP and the TT are the Antichrist, and if you add the P and the T together, it's another Antichrist connection. Push, push. See, it says trash. You understand? But if you look at it from far, you can't really tell. You know, it looks like it says ASH, like Washington. All right, hold on. Wait, hold on 1 second. Who's acting up? Yeah. Anyway, here comes the good part, okay? Here it comes, hold on. Here's what it all comes down to. Here we go. So what are my two predictions? June 11th, Washington State event. August 4th, Trump head wound, okay? Now watch this. I'm going to show you something. All right. So on the card, remember it's the Church of Elvis card. All right. Look down here. It says, he isn't dead. I saw him last week at the gas station. Praise Elvis. So she's praising, right? Power of this group becomes 4 if Elvis is in play, or 8 if you control him. See, it's the 8. You see the 8? So the only two numbers on this card is the 8 and the 4. Can you believe this, man? You know, well, and the 1 and the 3 looks like the letters EL. I told you, if you turn the 3 into an E and the 1 into a L, like if you a little L, EL is the word God in Hebrew, like Elvis. All right. So, but isn't it crazy that it's got the 8 and the 4? That's one of my predictions, right? And this is his one of his cards. And then here's the second card. Here's the second card. Now before we read that, just before we read it, look, where's my pen? Look what it says. It says, it was him. I guess this must be the gas station or something. Elvis has the power to distract any media group by making a brief public appearance. By using his action, Elvis can cancel any action taken by any media group. Elvis also has +6. So you have the 6 for direct control of the Church of Elvis. Elvis has left the building. So look, you have the 6. The only numbers on this card are 6, 1, 1, 4. Church of Elvis, Church of Satan. Remember? What was the address of the Church of Satan? 6114. Look at that. 6114. I mean, come on, man. Do you see it? Did you see what I just showed? Did you guys see what I just showed? By the way, if the video goes down, like I said, I'll try to get it back up, the video, because it's already having issues. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, my phone is having issues. Give me a second here. All right, now so now I showed you how the Church of Satan connected to Elvis and to my, my predictions. Okay? Now watch this. That's the Illuminati card game. Those cards. I've shown that for years. There's nothing new. All right? But the new part is the address of the Church of Satan connecting, Okay, now, there was a movie that was called Rosemary's Baby. What was the movie Rosemary's Baby about?
Rosemary's Baby is a psychological horror film. It follows Rosemary Woodhouse, who suspects her neighbors and even her husband are part of a satanic cult, plotting to use...
Yeah, basically, Satan, in the movie, Satan somehow had sex with her while she was drugged up or something, and she didn't, or whatever was going on, they were feeding her some weird stuff. Anyway, so she ended up having Satan's baby or something inside of her. And let's find out when it came out. When did the movie Rosemary's Baby first come out? No, you know what? I don't want to take the chance. Listen. So it was June 12th, 1968. I know you're seeing it back.
Baby originally premiered on June 12th, 1968
in
the United States and Canada. It was directed by Roman Polanski and starred Mia Farrow and John Cassavetes.
Okay. When was Mia Farrow born? She was born on 2/9/45.
Mia Farrow was born on
2/9/45. Anyway, so I forgot to look up a certain few things, man. See, this is what happens when you have too much. Yeah, and let me tell you something. Roman Polanski's wife, after he did this movie, after he did this movie, the very next year, Roman Polanski's real wife was murdered by the supposed Manson crew. You know, Charles Manson's cult. It's got the man son. Obviously, if you know my videos, you know what that's all about. But so, and they cut. Originally, they said that the baby was cut out of her, but that's not what they said afterwards. But the baby also died. Okay. So her name was Sharon Tate, and she was an actress. She was an actress. Okay. So Roman Polanski's real wife in real life was killed, and her baby was killed. So you see how crazy that is? You really think that's a coincidence that they're doing that? Now, what is it with Rosemary's Baby, the movie? It came out on June 12th, 1968. Let me show you something. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Just real quick. Okay. Oh man, I had to sneeze. Sorry. What? All right. Here, let's go. So, who is Rosemary's Baby? Who is it, man? Who's Rosemary's Baby? The person who wrote the movie. Who was it? The movie called Rosemary's Baby, written and directed by Roman Polanski. Okay? And remember, it came out one day after June 11th. It was June 12th. Okay? In 1968. Here we go. Who is Rosemary's Baby? Roman Polanski, the guy who wrote the Rosemary's Baby, his son's name is Elvis. I mean, can you believe this, man? So the guy who wrote the Rosemary's Baby, look, see, Roman Polanski's son, Elvis Polanski. I mean, are you kidding me, man? You see how ridiculous this is? And that was the same, and it came out the same year Martin Luther King was killed, RFK was killed, the Twin Towers started construction, and that's the year 1968. It came out one day after 6/11, this movie, Rosemary's Baby. And and Elvis did his comeback special in 1968 also, Are you seeing what I'm showing you? The guy who wrote, Rosemary's Baby, man, his name is Elvis. Because it has to do with Satan's child being born, and whatever. He was writer of the movie too, I thought. Hold on. Did Roman Polanski write and direct Rosemary's Baby?
Yes. Roman Polanski wrote the screenplay and directed Rosemary's Baby.
Whatever. He director and he was both. I know it was a book. You want to know what the book was? Here's the book. Rosemary's Baby was adapted from a novel by Ira Levin. It's got the Levi again. And the anagram for Ira Levin is Iran evil. This guy, I was just saying it's close to Elvis, ELVI. Anyway, I didn't even care about that. That's why I wasn't going to show it. But anyway, his son's name. So Rosemary's Baby the movie, is by a dude whose son is named Elvis. Come on, man. Anyway, from Trump's birthday to the day this Rosemary's Baby release date is 8,035 days. You know. And you know, Satan's backwards numbers is 8035, but I don't really pay attention to that backwards stuff. But why is that important? You know, because Elvis was born on 1/8/35. Interesting. But that's the only thing I could find with this, you know. And oh yeah, no, there's something to that. I could show it to you later. But look, from Trump's birth to the day Sharon Tate was murdered, and her unborn child, which was Roman Polanski's child, you know. Oh, I wonder if that was the first child. I mean, I wonder if Roman Polanski's first child, and then he had another child named Elvis. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, when did he have? I never even looked at his birth date. When was Elvis Polanski born? April 12, 1998.
Elvis Polanski was born on April 12, 1998, in Paris, France.
I wonder how many kids he has. How many kids does Roman Polanski have? He has 2.
Roman Polanski has 3.
Oh, now they're saying 3. It only shows 2. Huh, what's the third one? Why were they about to say 3? Hold on. How many kids does Roman Polanski have?
Roman Polanski has children. He has a daughter named Morgane and a son named Elvis with Emmanuel Sr. And he also has a son named Kailash with Nastasha Kinski.
So they have a third. Yeah, he does have a third one. Okay. Anyway, so from Trump's birth to the day Sharon Tate was murdered and her unborn baby, it's 8. Look at that. It's 8/4. And it's got the 5, because I told you Trump's going to get his head on 8/4, but 8/4 connects to 8/5 on leap years, right? So it's 8 to the 45 back to the 8, because I told you he's going to open his eyes on 8/8. So you have 8/4. He needs that 45, which is the portal. I told you the 45 is the bridge to the other side and to get to the 8. So that's what's all that's about. Okay? And not that this is, you know, like I said, the numerical stuff is not that big of a deal. From Elvis's birth to Rosemary's Baby movie release is 33 years, and you have 5 months, 5 days. Satan equals 55. Okay. And from Rosemary Baby release date to 9/11 was 33 years, 3 months exactly. Oh, you know what? Let me go back 1 second. So you remember what I was showing you here? From Trump's birthday to the day Sharon Tate was murdered, you have the 8/4 and the 8/8 connection, right? And then from that day to Elvis's death is 8 years, 8 days. You see? So there's that 8/8 connection again. You see what I'm saying? Because I told you over here, 8, then you have the bridge equals 45 to get to the 8. Because that's when Trump opens his eyes after he gets his head wound on 8/4, you know. Anyway, so from Elvis's birthday to the day Sharon Tate was born, look at that. If you don't add the day, it's 8 years, 16 days. That's the day from Elvis's birth to the day Sharon Tate was born, the one that was murdered and her baby was murdered, Roman Polanski's baby in her womb. It's 8 years, 16 days. Why is that important? Because that's Elvis's death date, 8/16. You see what I mean? You know, I mean, are these all just coincidences? You know, if you add the day, it's 17 days, but it's up to that day. And then from her birth date, from this date, her birth date, to the day Obama was born, look at that. It's 6,767 days. Why is that important? Because it's 18 years, 6 months, 11 days. Elvis is born on 1/8 and the 6/11. You see that? You see how incredible that is? And 67, 67, obviously you guys, if you know my videos, you know what's going on. From Elvis's birthday to 9/11, when the twin towers, because Elvis had an identical twin, it's 8 months, 4 days within the same year. And the percentage is 67.67. See? And you know, it was 66 years, and the word twin equals 66 years from Elvis' birthday to 9/11. But within the same year, it's 8 months, 4 days, is 67.67%. So that's the twins. And what do I mean by that? Because Elvis had an identical twin named Jesse who died at birth. Jesse, spelled like this on his gravestone, equals 67. Elvis equals 67. And 67 is the first number that equals 162 when written out. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. All right? That's 6-7. You know, I showed you that already. 6-7. I did a video on it. All about Elvis. 6-7. Okay? It's the first number that does this when you do what I'm doing there, using the multiplication and addition to the number. And of course, if you separate it, like a date, 6-7-6-7, it's 12-14 if you add it up, you see? And that's George Washington's death date, 12-14, you know? And you remember earlier when I was showing you from her birthday to the day Obama was born was 6,767 days. That was without adding the day. When you add the day, it's 67-68 days. That's Elvis's numbers. Elvis equals 67 forward, 68 backwards. Okay? Do you know that JFK's birth is the reverse day of August 4th, and he's the one who got the head wound? And in between is 67 and 68 days. You see that? August 4th, 67 or 68 days if you add the day. See, it's got the 67-68 connection from Sharon Tate's birthday to Obama's birth. And Elvis equals 67-68. The reverse date of JFK's birthday is August 4th. What do I mean by that? Because look, 5/29, JFK's birthday is the 149th day of the year, which leaves 216 days in the year. The 216th day of the year is August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound. So 5/29, JFK's birthday, the guy who got the head wound, his reverse date is August 4th. You see how perfect that is? You know? Everything has to do with the twins. I told you that. The identical twins, Elvis, Jesse, they were both born on 1/8. And in the UK, they say the date backwards, 8-1-8-1. 2/16, if you add it up, 16-2. August 4th is the 216th day of the year. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. All right? Anyway, now, that's it for the video. Okay? You got to watch from the beginning. Like I said, listen, if you guys don't think this is mind-blowing info, I can't help you people. You guys are, you know what the problem is? You guys are into, you know what I mean? Like, you want eye candy instead of, do you get what I'm saying? You need like pictures and music and creepy scenes and, oh, look, it's showing a creepy scene. And, you know, you get what I'm saying? If I was doing it like that, all right, you wouldn't know all these connections. I could do those kind of videos, but you wouldn't understand what I'm trying to show. Okay, I'm not going to just sit there and just show you images of a movie and not have an explanation of it, you know, with all the numbers, because that's what it's all about. You know, the world was created with numbers. You know, God created, you know, God created numbers. That's why there's no such thing as a bad number. It's only a number that Satan needs. All right? The 666. There's no such thing as a bad number. Anyway, so any questions before I end this video? You have any questions? I might come back on. I'm not sure. I might come back on. So if you see me, you know, check in like a few minutes, see if I come back on. Yeah. Anyway, all right, I'm going to end the video here. So if you came in late, you got to watch this video from the beginning, all right? And make sure you thumb up the video, folks. Right now, do me a favor, go and thumb up the video. And I'll see you guys. Go and thumb up this video. And then later on, comment under the video too. All right? I'll see you guys in a few minutes. I'll come right back. All right? Give me like 5 or 10 minutes. All right. End the video.